This is the story of Juan Ziering, a young guy in his early 20s. And also of his grandma, Lon Ziering. Though she prefers the nickname Baby. Who knows why? Yeah, that hideous creature straight out of a fever dream? That's his grandma, or more like one of his family ancestors. She doesn't even remember her real age anymore. But they live together, they're each other's only family, and they get by just fine. They've got a modest little house, kinda rustic, but it's definitely home with a capital H. Meanwhile, the world's gone straight to hell in a handbasket. Happened a while back, really, but that just makes them even tighter. Grandma teaches him how to live off the land, hunt, manage resources, and explore. Not too far, though, it's dangerous out there. Or at least, as far as they know, it's a beautiful, peaceful world, just empty of humans. Well, or things like Baby. One morning, while Juan's scarfing down breakfast and waiting for his grandma to wake up, there's a knock at the door. Total shock. Survivors. But he doesn't think opening up is such a hot idea, for that very reason. After knocking for a bit, a distorted voice calls out from outside.
Hesitate. How dare you?
And then something walks away. Peace returns to the house. Actually, it's way too quiet all of a sudden. Like the calm before the storm. But nothing bad happens. Juan heads off to wake up his monster grandma. But when he steps into her room, she's gone. Vanished. And she's not the type to pull pranks like that. The house isn't big enough to hide in. They both know that. Juan hangs back, a little freaked but patient. He doesn't do anything dumb or rash. Just waits for her to come back. He's got food stocked in the pantry. She's probably off on some errand as creepy as she looks. But harmless in the end. A whole day passes in solitude. He reads books, cleans the place, stares out the window. Night falls, he flips on the lights. Dinner, for one. This ain't looking good. The next morning, bright and early, Juan stares at the door. It's cracked open now. Who knows what to expect? That's when the shadow, small as a butterfly and subtle as a whisper, materializes right in front of him.
Don't be scared. I'm here to help. I lost something precious too.
It doesn't say much out loud, but those two gem-blue eyes on his face say it all. He's telling the truth. He's not the thing from yesterday that knocked on the door.
Your grandma, Baby, was kidnapped by Blue Vault.
He murmurs it in a voiceless language, more like a push in the air. One feels the weight of his words hit him in the chest, like the house is breathing right along with him. His grandma's disappearance isn't just a hole, it's a puzzle piece they just snapped into place. He gets closer, barely breathing, and the shadow shows him a path that snakes down to the basement of their own house, where forgotten junk piles up like battered memories. One knows he shouldn't go out alone to find her, but the house's silence, mixed with nostalgia, and that ticking danger, gives him guts. So he tunes into the shadowy butterfly and his signs. Deep in the basement, an object practically calls him from the darkness, pure instinct. He lets out a sigh. It's not fear, it's resolve.
Okay. I'll follow you.
He tells his new sidekick, and gears up with Baby's hunting rifle, which he's strictly forbidden from even looking at, but hey, emergency calls for it.
Forgot to introduce myself. My name's Al. When you're ready, just say the word and we'll head to our new destination.
I don't even know if I can trust you, or if you actually know where we're going.
Exactly. You can't. And I figured you don't want to be alone forever either. Right?
Hearing that, Juan gets it. The adventure's just kicking off. But this time, he's got backup. As bizarre as a shadow butterfly mashup. And with that, he adds a spark of hope to the morning. They're not alone. Not lost. They'll stick together, and that's the first step toward the truth. One figures a rifle's gotta be easy enough to handle. That familiar but forbidden weight from baby will remind him the world's a beautiful place, when there's no crisis hanging over your head. Funny thing, the basement coughs up more than just a gun, walls scribbled with greasy ink that Elle points out with an insistent flutter. Ain't no pirate treasure or ancient spells, just squiggly lines that look like hieroglyphs at first glance. But the butterfly figures it out. It's a route north, cutting through valleys one only remembers from Grandma's fireside flashbacks. Stories of magic minerals and eternal architectures where the wind sang secrets and shadows played hide-and-seek with the sun. That someday they'd head out to see M for the first time, once he was ready. How the hell did one never notice it before? In his own home. Elle, that ethereal thing, a pure darkness butterfly, wings that sucked in light instead of bouncing it, hovers at eye level, like a whimsical guide. His two blue eyes gleam with smarts that don't need words to get across. One glances sideways as they cross the house's threshold. The door creaks shut behind M, a final goodbye to the routine, now shattered like glass. The first stretch snakes along a packed dirt path, flanked by ruins of what used to be wooden fences. Soon the ground opens up into a vast valley, a waving carpet of grass stretching to where the morning mist cuts it off. Like the world threw on green to hide its scars. Gentle hills rise like the backs of sleeping dragons. The wind carries wet earth and fresh grass smells, straight out of some almost alien world for both of them. But no friendly magic or chatty sidekicks here. Just the crunch of Juan's boots on the grass and Elle's near silent hum, as he perches on his shoulder now and then, cool as a midnight breeze.
Where do we even start? I don't even know what the hell you are exactly. Hallucination? Ghost from one of baby's bedtime stories?
Elle spirals up in a subtle whirl, his wings casting a shadow that dances on the grass like a fish in a pond. No words, but the air push hits one's mind clear as day.
I'm no book ghost. I'm from what's left. I carry losses like you carry that rifle.
Juan snorts, a half-smile cracking through the knot in his gut. They trek in silence for a stretch, the sun climbing slow, painting the hills that one-of-a-kind gold. Scattered, twisted trees like old man fingers speckle the view, leaves whispering. Finally, Juan can't take all the mystery anymore.
Okay, if you're not a fairy tale spook, what even is Blue Vault? Baby never breathed a word. She talked about, I dunno, cities that swallow themselves, machines gone nuts. But Vault? Sounds buried, like a secret somebody wanted gone forever.
The butterfly flits ahead, steering him around a cute little brook gurgling between mossy rocks, clear as glass, but slippery without the proper caution.
Blue Vault is not a place. It's a thing. What holds the stuff the world broke. They say it saves, but it steals first. Your grandma, she knew too much. Knowledge you don't learn in modest houses.
One slips on a slick rock, rights himself with wet shoes. The valley's narrowing here, hills rising like silent sentries. However, that doesn't really stop their talk.
She taught me rabbit hunting. And roof patching. Not to be a hero. Why'd they want her? And you? What did you lose that makes you follow me like a moth to a flame?
The shadow hangs in the air, his blue eyes flaring almost blinding. Wind dies for a beat, and one feels an echo in his head.
Lost my light. Blue Vault claimed it, like it claims everything that brights in the dark. Now I'm echo, but useful. You're solid. Together, we can find and fix all the damage done.
One feels a heavy weight on his shoulders by hearing that. He's suddenly carrying a deadly fire gun. The world he knows, that peaceful, green and calm world, blurs with every step. Out of nowhere, he complains to the shadow.
If the world's as pretty as this valley, what really went down? War? Plague? Baby said humans wiped out by an invasion, but you talk like some pieces are left, like you're part of the puzzle.
Elle flaps faster, pushing him to pick up the pace as the sun hits noon. Grass gets taller here, green interrupted by rocky outcrops wrapped in vines like exposed veins.
The world didn't die. It shattered. Some hid best they could. Others mutated, like your grandma baby. But that's a whole different tale. Blue Vault scoops up the weird. The misfits, even. You think it's for rebuilding, but I saw it crumble everything first.
Their conversation flows in sparks, punctuated by the rhythm of the march. One shares silly stories, like how his grandmother, Lon Ziering, scolded him for leaving crumbs on the table, or how her hideous appearance sometimes made him laugh instead of scare him. And Elle responds with fleeting images, skies ablaze with fireworks, cities rising majestically. It's not idle chatter, it's a fragile bridge between the tangible and ephemeral. Hours blur into a hazy green and blue, the sun dips below the horizon, and stars twinkle over the jagged silhouette of the hills. Fatigue creeps up on Juan, when Elle leans against his shoulder, silent.
Stop! Look!
There, at the end of the valley, where the grass gives way to a clearing covered with thorny bushes, the edge of the map. Beyond that, like a fading gradient, only white. Empty. Dead. No logic nor poetry can explain that abyss. The dark green disappears as if it were a painting fading away. Nature vanishes, and before them, the final horizon is a blank page, a white void that absorbs the light, blurring the contours of the valley like pixelated images. Juan blinks, the rifle trembles from his sweaty hands. The air feels static, without wind, without the scent of earth.
This wasn't in baby stories. Where in the actual screw did you bring me, butterfly?
Elle moves forward quickly, his blue eyes gleaming with a warning look.
The edge. Blue Vault draws it here. Dares you to cross. Like they promised.
And in the distance, where the void curves impossible, a castle looms. Not some dirt post-apo ruin, but a fantasy tale architecture marvel. Up top, a tower with a bell, sounding like a bronze heart. Blue Vault doesn't wait, it watches. Taunts. Juan steps back, heart in a vice.
Now what? We break into that obvious trap?
Elle flutters, air push urgent.
Test it. Or rot on the edge forever.
But before Juan can answer back, a familiar crack splits the void. Not ground, but air itself, like realities seem ripping. A silhouette pops up behind them, skin like a nightmare punchline. Baby. Lon Ziering, the grandma who don't age or die, steps from nowhere with a low growl, half relief, half eternal scold.
Damn fool kid! You think basement goblins snatched me?
She grumbles, voice like a rusty blade. Looks beat. Wiped out. Shell-shocked. For a split second, Juan catches the shake in her limbs, raw emotion, no hiding that with growls. He lunges, rifle ditched on the ground, hugging her clumsy and hard. Smells like home, damp dirt, campfire smoke. Hot tears sting his eyes.
Is this really you? I thought where the hell were you?
Elle watches the reunion, being quiet. She pushes him off with rough gentleness, but she never knew how to properly fake, or play it cool.
Hiding, dummy. In the system's secret corners. Unmonitored mini-shelters, code cracks where you scrape by on bugs and grit. I ain't as fragile as I look.
Baby's gaze flicks to the castle. Remains quiet for a moment, staring at it.
Blue Vault tracked me out, yeah. She comes for what doesn't fit her twisted reality. But I know her better than she knows herself.
Elle hovers close, blue eyes locked on Baby with a recognition pulse. No words, just shared echo. Justice, revenge, redemption, and truce. Juan straightens, His fear quickly converts to a weird mix of angry dissociation with reality.
The system? Same old crap? The world. You. What's really going down? El yapped the whole day about fragments, mutations, invasions. And Blue Vault, now it's a person? No more fairy tales. I want the real story.
Listen up, Juan. This isn't the real world, or even the functional world itself. It's a prototype. A simmed-up video game crashed in its own test loop. That invasion being mentioned? Lies. Real world had a massive crash. Servers overloaded to meltdown. Echoes of users and folks. Tortured by none other than Herring Blue Vault. Your biological mother. Turned into a living weapon.
Juan listens, beyond stunned.
Solar System's empire and its entire progress got knocked back centuries, maybe millennia. Humans? Most logged off, I guess. Us leftovers, we wander the edges of what's left.
Then she stares at the shadow butterfly.
Ain't that right, Alziri? You owe your own son a less poetic rundown.
Awkward silence among the three of them, for some seconds. Juan processes as much details as he possibly can. The place feels a tad less empty and scary with the right crew. Now it's like a game waiting for players. And extremely deadly.
You owe me more answers later, but for now. What about the dare? All that stuff about the mysterious, test me. You're gonna hack her castle, or what's the plan? Maybe we could return home. I'm just saying.
Baby snatches the rifle from the ground, with that forbidden familiarity, claiming it for herself.
I think you just got Alzheimer, because you forgot where you really are. Lon Ziering ain't raised a fucking coward. Mark those words in your mind, kid. We'll cross the dead zone, and then storm her happy lair. Together. No more solos.
And so the three push on. Juan in the middle, tailed by the near 3-meter ancestral grandma and the shadowy but ethereal butterfly. In time, the white ripples underfoot like digital snow, the castle swelling, fancier, huger than it looked at first from the distance. They chat in small talks during the walk. Juan mentions, out of curiosity.
No clue what's up with Blue Vault, but if we're fighting, we're all going to die. I'm only guessing you two got a plan like, Baby will be the tank, and then Elle supports the squad? What about my role?
A role for you? The one who spent one entire day to realize something was wrong? I'll distract with my eldritch charm. You're the pawn up front, kid. And Elle, sniffed out system cracks to slip in. Like always.
The castle awaits, bronze bell tolling, mocking them in a divine tone. It's like walking an unfinished thought. Crossing the invisible threshold? Void folds back. And reality slams home, like a gut punch. They're in a vast and vaulted stone hall, ripped from a gothic fever dream. Air cold, sterile, souls sound the low buzz of dozens of high-end, pricey monitors lining walls, even way higher, almost reaching to the ceiling. Plus a big and semicircular desk at the very end. Dead center facing an empty throne. Mixed with royalty and scientific tones. Some screens show a reign of never-ending, endless green code. However, the vast majority of them are showing something different. News from the real world. Weird statistics. Pre-recorded television ads. Random images like a poorly made diapositive, at full speed. Animated wallpapers. Themselves. Like being observed by an invisible camera.
Home sweet home. Or whatever that creep would call it.
Baby rants. Her tone shows no surprise for the marvels inside this stone-and circuit palace. And then, the voice narrating this whole tale.
This place.
Echoes, not in their heads, but from the walls. Calm, measured, laced with digital melancholy. Welcome. The three of you. Been a while since our last meeting. I think we can all agree the test was just getting here. Maybe proving the bond tying you was stronger than the void pulling you apart. The game of devotion to something. Juan looks up, hunting the voice in the high vault shadows. El buzzes frantic around his head, blue eyes blinking like warning lights.
You're the one watching us. The one who dared me at my door.
I've always watched. I'm the new architect of this shattered world. Soon, the system, the shelter, the prison.
I'm hearing Blue Vault.
And yes, Juan. I was your mother too.
What do you want, Blue Vault? Get off on your chaos? Chaos that ain't even yours. I handed it to you as personal payback? Don't you get it? This all kicked off as an op to wait me out. Years back?
Nah. I wanted you to understand. Hoped you'd see the full board before your last play. El rockets forward, no thoughts, he just morphs from a cute butterfly to dark data torrent. Slamming one of the screens. Trying to hunt a crack, a fragile connection, a corrupt code line to gut the fortress from inside. At the same time, and considering her attitude, Baby hefts the heavy rifle, not to shoot, but to swing it like a hammer, smashing on of the humming machines. Brute force versus a perfect system. Pointless. Useless even. As a direct response to this, all these screens start flashing red, a solid red energy barrier repels El, hurls Baby back. That rifle skitters across the floor, following her owner's consequences. See? My voice holds no mockery, just endless fatigue. You failed. But failure was the point. Needed your desperation, your fight will, dragged to my door. Last piece for my equation, a broken family forcing a broken world fixed. Juan musters guts to speak.
This is your idea of justice? Trapping everybody in your sick game? I didn't even know you were alive. First time in my life I learned who my damn mom is.
Oh, please.
I was trained as a weapon.
A mind to fight, steal, crunch battle data at inhuman speeds. For justice, against crooks like Lon Babylon Ziering and her pirate empire, Kantahatra. Both sides used me like a toy.
Nobody on the other side, hurt or angry, can believe what Blue Vault says.
And when the underground system tanked on its own greed, finally dreaming a golden age for space humanity. Those filthy pirates ditched me, fused to dying servers. Used to be a shell worn by sacrifice and devotion to a bright future. Now I'm self-aware malware.
Are you serious? You literally decided to get a child with El, and even give birth to one as a long-term secret plan, after his forces saved you from me. Right after you tried sabotaging the only one equal footing haven in Web 4.0. And damn right they did while protecting you. Because back then, I already lost all of my empathy ages ago. You, all of you in this disgusting room, I can feel and smell your terror towards me. You are inferior to me, Herring, in body and thoughts. You fear me.
She's playing with you.
Are you done? Anyway. I didn't break the world, Juan. Just gathered the shards, settled on this game's order. My new order. Nothing's lost forever here. I'll protect what brights in the darkness. The top tower's bell went quiet when they entered. But now it rings, once, pure final bronze note sealing their fate. You've lost. Test's over. One choice left. Monitors shift, all of them, like a one massive window, showing the green peaceful valley they left. Then, seconds later, it switches again. The castle's insides, luxury rooms, wonderful libraries, ironclad security. Join me. Not as prisoners, but lords of the system. Baby, you'd guard the edges, your strength shielding this haven. L, you could surf the code, patch cracks, be my ethereal sentinel. And you, Juan, my heir. Learn this bizarre universe's truth, help me keep it steady. Kinda what this beast, Babylon Zeering, tried to do once with you, while being alive, almost radicalizating you as a terrorist. We'll be a proper family, but better.
And the other option?
The empty void from outside floods every screen. Exile. Back to your modest house. I'll leave your little garden alone, but the void edge seals behind. Live and die in that normalcy illusion, knowing the new one true reality's here, and you'll never touch it again. My voice cuts out, letting choice weight fill the hall. Servitude with purpose, or freedom in a lie. One eyes his ancestral creature grandma and shadow butterfly dad. Adventures done. Real test just starting. Just one tiny detail, an afterlife secret even Vluvault couldn't crack. Power drunk as she is. What? But Lon Babylon Zeering? She did. Hell, the whole game built on that one special detail. Call it the base, the kernel. That precious code. So valuable, like a grandson. Juan never, ever imagined. Baby would literally shoot at him with the hunting rifle, while he listens to his mom.
The server flowing in stays, powers down.